First fight on the main card. It's a middleweight division. We got Marc-André Barriault, 29 years old, from Quebec, Canada. He's a former two-division TKO champion. Came into the UFC on a 7-fight winning streak. He's 6 feet 2, 187 centimeters. Overall MMA record is 11 wins, 2 losses, 8 wins by knockout. He's currently 1-0 in the UFC, dropping a decision loss in his debut against Andre Sanchez. Also took that fight on short notice. I think it was a pretty good performance. He rocked Sanchez in the second round, I believe, but couldn't finish him. And Sanchez edged out the decision in that fight. Then we got his opponent, K.Jotko, also 29 years old, coming from Poland. He was once a top 15 ranked promising prospect, but he's declining lately. He's 6 feet 1, 185 centimeters, trains at the American top team. The overall MMA record is 20 wins, 4 losses. It's a decision guy. Likes to go to the scorecard because he has 13 wins by decision. Currently is 7-4 in the UFC. And he's 1-2 in his last 3 fights. Both 2 losses came by way of knockout against Uriah Hall and Brad Tavares. He will have a 1-inch height and a 4-inch reach advantage coming into this fight. So, as I said earlier, K.Jotko being a bit on the down skid lately. Back-to-back KO losses. Then UFC did him a big favor by matching him up against Amedovski. Remember that name? And Amedovski is an absolute can, guys. This guy is nowhere near UFC level. So Jotko edged out the decision in that fight. In my opinion, not looking impressive at all. The big question is, where's Jotko's chin at the moment? Back-to-back KO losses will deteriorate your chin and also your mindset. That's a big question for me. Got his opponent, Marc-André Barriault, big guy for the division, very strong, coming in as a two-division TKO champ, coming into the UFC. This guy is a brawler. He likes to brawl. It's very dangerous from short distance, and he throws everything with 100% power. So we got the dynamic technical striker, Jotko, versus the power brawler in Marc-André Barriault. Jotko has definitely more experience coming into this one. He is fighting better. He fought better competition. But Barriault, despite his loss in the first UFC fight, which he took on short notice, I think he has the momentum going for on his side. I feel Barriault has a significant advantage in pure body strength. Strong guy. So he will dominate the clinch. The question is, will Jotko get the takedown early? Will he expend a lot of energy for the takedown? My guess is Barriault is not so easy to take down. So eventually he will take him down, but he will expend a lot of energy in doing that. If Barriault can keep this fight on the feet for 15 minutes, I see him win this fight. K.Jotko, excellent footwork, very good level change. Very good timing on his takedown attempt. So definitely this gonna play a factor. Let's see how Barriault defends that. As earlier said, K.Jotko has 13 decisions from 20 wins. He likes to go to the scorecard. He's not a big finisher. So I think for K.Jotko, the key in this fight is get it to the ground. Do not engage in a brawl, because you will play Barriault's game, and he will lose the fight for sure when he's gonna stand up and brawl with Barriault. That being said, my guess is the forward pressure from Barriault will get K.Jotko fighting on the back foot, and it will be too much for K.Jotko. Also, his disadvantage in the clinch will be too much for K.Jotko. So my pick for this fight is homeboy Marc-André Barriault. Will catch the chin of K.Jotko at some moment and wins by late second round or early third round KO, TKO. Lightweight division, we got Olivier Owen Mercier, aka the Canadian Gangster, taking on A.Tsarukyan from Russia. Let's call him Arman. All right, OAM, 30 years old, fighting out of Quebec, Canada. 5'9" or 175 centimeters. He's got a 70.5 reach. Comes from a very good camp, TriStar, with the likes of Rory Mack, Robert Whittaker, GSP of course. Overall MMA record is 11 wins, 4 losses. 8 wins by submission, and he's currently 7-4 in the UFC. His opponent, Arman, 22 years old, coming from Russia, also 5'9", 175 centimeters, and he's got a 2.5 inch reach advantage coming into this fight. Before making his UFC debut, he was on a 12-fight winning streak, fighting in a few different Russian promotions. So not fighting cans. As we all know, Russian fighters, very tough. OAM, the Canadian Gangster, coming into this fight on a 2-fight losing streak. Back-to-back losses against Gilbert Burns and Alexander Hernandez, both by decision. So his head's on the chopping block. Also, he will fight for his home crowd. So could be possible there's some pressure there. Head on the chopping block. Has to perform in this fight, has to win. To avoid a possible exit if you give up 7 takedowns against lower level wrestlers. Take not a rocket scientist to see what's going to happen in this fight. OAM likes to get his takedowns from the clinch and then working towards the back mount, his favorite position. He has a very heavy top game also. Lost to rear naked choke. Got 8 wins by rear naked choke. Almost never goes to decision. The striking is not that great. Lots of room for improvement there on his striking. I feel he only uses his striking to set up his takedowns. So a very underrated part of his game. The problem with OEM is when his takedown game is not working, usually he's not going to win the fight. Against top level wrestler as Arman is, that takes away a big part of his game. So maybe that can become important in the upcoming fight. Then we got this opponent, Arman, 22 years old, fighting out of Russia, coming into his fight with a loss in his debut against Islam Makhachev. Took that fight on short notice. We all know Islam Makhachev, Khabib's brother, arguably one of the best chain wrestlers in the UFC at the moment. And guys, if you have not seen this fight and you love to see exceptional high level wrestling, very good takedown defense, top notch counter wrestling, I advise you to take a look at that fight. That was a great fight. Also in that fight, Arman lost by decision, but was awarded with a fight of the night bonus. This guy, I give up high on this guy. This guy is a very good fighter. Very impressed by his fighting style at only 22 years old. So lots of room for improvement there. As said earlier, top level wrestling. Obviously KO power, winning 8 fights by KO. A nasty kicking game. I have a lot of hope for this guy. I think he can easily make a top 8 in this division. I have to go with A.Tsarukyan here, getting the job done. I say my pick for this fight will be A.Tsarukyan picks up his first win in the UFC and getting the job done by decision. Next fight up, moving on to the welterweight division. Third fight of the main card. You got Jeff Hands of Steel Neal taking on Nico the Hybrid Price. Jeff Neal, 28 years old, 5 feet 11 or 180 centimeters, got a 75-inch reach, fighting out of Fortis MMA. You got Nico Price, 1 year older, 29 years old, 6 feet or 182 centimeters, fighting out of Futures MMA, got a 76-inch reach. His overall MMA record is 13 wins, 9 knockouts, and he lost 2 fights. Coming into this fight, he's 5-2 in the UFC. He lost to Vincent Luque by Barriault choke, and Abdel Razak Hassan by Fish's first round KO after 45 seconds, I believe. Price is a BJJ brown belt, and right off the bat, I'm not a very big fan of Nico Price's fighting style. That being said, this guy is very dangerous. never count this guy out. He can win fights at every moment, in every situation. Ask Tim Means about that. After Tim Means pieced him up for the majority of the round and controlled him on the ground for a few minutes, draining his energy. Price got back to his feet. Obviously, he was breathing very heavy, low on energy. And at the end of the round, he fired a piston of a right hand and knocked him out with one shot. Price is insane knockout power in both hands. Very dangerous. Price is more of a counter striker. He likes to back up. He backs up to draw his opponents in. And then when they come in and they're closing the distance, he will unload. He's got decent hand speed, those nice combinations, and he always comes to fight. The problem for him in this fight is he's fighting an extreme good striker. Very accurate striker who's way faster than him in G.Neal. Also the problem is Price tends to get hit a lot. He absorbs more punches than I think is necessary, because his striking defense is not that great. And when your striking defense is not that great, and you absorb more punches than is necessary in almost all of your fights, that's a problem. When your striking defense is not that great and you're fighting G.Neal, I think you are doomed. Straight up, you are doomed. That's the reason why I go with G.Neal winning this fight by second round KO. Moving on to the co-main event, women's featherweight. We got C.Cyborg versus F.Spencer. C.Cyborg, 34 years old, 5'8", 172 centimeters. Got a 68-inch reach. His experience in shootbox, Muay Thai. He's also a BJJ brown belt. She fought in Strikeforce, became champ. She fought in FIGHTPICKS, became champ. She fought in UFC, became champ. Her opponent, F.Spencer, 29 years old. She's from Canada. She's 5'6", 167 centimeters. Has also a 68 reach advantage. She became champion in FIGHTPICKS as well before she signed with the UFC. Spencer come into this fight as undefeated in FIGHTPICKS champion with a record of 7-0, 4 submissions, 2 decisions, 1 TKO. Alright guys, I don't know, man. Looks like the UFC is willing to let everybody who has a heartbeat and 4 limbs fight in this shallow division. They found another body and matched her up against Cyborg. Yeah, as I know, she's 7-0 is in FIGHTPICKS, undefeated champ coming into the UFC. I hear people say she dominated Megan Anderson, but who the fuck is Megan Anderson, man? Come on. Her only win in the UFC came by sticking her toe in Katzengerner's eye. So don't take much value on that. UFC obviously filling the gaps here. Cyborg, 2 inches taller. Both fighters, 68-inch reach, said earlier. I think, guys, on the feet, Spencer has nothing for Cyborg. this is a mismatch. Spencer likes to get the takedowns from the clinch. The problem here is Cyborg using a Muay Thai in the clinch. He's also the taller fighter, so, which is a big advantage in the clinch. Also, she has more, I think she's the stronger fighter also, pure body strength. And I think she's going to land devastating knees and elbows in the clinch, controlling the clinch with the body strength. And maybe Spencer gets her down, but Cyborg's also BJJ black belt, so the only way I see Spencer winning this fight is capitalizing on some kind of rare mistake by Cyborg and taking her back. Or maybe she had to come in the cage with a shotgun. Also a possibility. I know Cyborg comes into this fight from a devastating KO loss, but I think we're going to set an example, and that KO only will motivate her to let the people see how good she is, and setting an example by winning this fight. I think the KO will not affect her. She has so much experience. So guys, my pick for this fight, I see Cyborg winning this fight easily by a first round stoppage. We have arrived in the main event of the evening. Featherweight division, we got Max Blast Holloway taking on Frankie the Answer Edgar. Frankie Edgar, 37 years old, 5.6 feet high, or 167 centimeters. He got a 68-inch reach. His overall MMA record is 23-6-1. Currently 17-6-1 in the UFC. He's a very good wrestler. First black belt, and he is a first degree BJJ black belt. His opponent, Max Blast Holloway, 27 years old from Hawaii, 5 feet 11 or 180 centimeters. He's got a 69-inch reach. He's 20-4 in the UFC coming into this fight, and he's a BJJ purple belt. We know both guys. We know what they are about. Both guys are future Hall of Famers. Both fighters also holding multiple records in the UFC. Frankie holding the record for spending the most time in the octagon. I think it's something of 7 or 8 hours. Don't know if that is particularly a good thing or a bad thing. And if I recall correct, he also has the record of losing the most title fights. Actually, this is Frankie's 9th, I think 9 title fight coming up. So, Max Holloway holding also a few records. Holloway holding the record of landing the most significant strikes in one fight. That's 290 strikes. He broke the record of landing the most significant strikes in one round. That's 134. I think he also holds the record of most significant strikes overall landed. He also has the record of holding the most victories in the featherweight division. So we got definitely two legends here going at each other in this one. If you look skill for skill, we know what Frankie is going to bring to the octagon. We know what Max is about. Frankie is not a very technical striker. He's also not super athletic. We will see him throw overhands to try set up his takedown entries from it. Trying to put a high pace on Max, switching back and forward between his striking and his wrestling. I think he's arguably the best wrestler Max ever fought. So interesting to see how Max gonna deal with that. We all know Max has an insane takedown defense, very good balance on the feet also. I think he's something 83% takedown defense. But will this hold up against a Division 1 wrestler? Holloway, in my opinion, the master of the distance management. In my opinion, the best fighter in all MMA, all combat sports, by managing the distance. Long straight strikes, good jab, excellent combos. Always increasing his volume as the fight progresses. So both actually very similar in the pace department. Both like to fight with high pace. Also, both fighters like to have put a lot of. Also, both fighters like to put a lot of forward pressure on their opponents. The only problem with that I see is that Max is 27 years old and in his prime, obviously. He used to fight for 25 minutes. Max is 27 years old and obviously in his prime. He's well used to fight for 25 minutes. Frankie is 37 years old. There's a lot of mileage on him. He hasn't fought in 5-round fight since July 9, 2016. They're both very accomplished mixed martial artists. I like Frankie a lot. Great fighter. I have loads of respect for him as a fighter and as a person. But I just can't see, I don't know, I see no possibilities for Frankie to get the win here. How hard I try, how hard I want it, I just don't see it. So my pick for this fight will be Max Holloway successfully defending his title and winning this fight by decision. Thank you for watching and enjoy the fights this weekend.